Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gamers Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. I have with me Lawrence.
Hey, everybody.
I have Ryden.
Heyo.
And we have Michelle with us as well.
Hey.
We're back. I guess we took a week off, but we've been putting out the Gamers Play in place of that. Now I should have another episode of that coming out soon as well.
Which is awesome.
Well, it's awesome for you guys, so you get to see our fails, our many fails.
It is hilarious. I have to say, it's hilarious just hearing you guys just all banter like that.
Yeah, I gotta say it was a lot of fun. Thanks to Aaron, thanks to KG, thanks to Laura. That was amazing fun. We have to do it again. It was a blast to do.
Nice.
So today we wanted to talk a little Tokyo Game Show. Wanted to talk a little Mighty Number 9. Wanted to talk some more sombering news regarding Nintendo's former president, and then get in on kind of a lighthearted note with a conversation that Michelle, Lawrence, and I had on Twitter a week or so back that, you know, we thought we should bring it to the show, sort of just settle it once and for all, because it was a lot of fun when we were doing it that day. So.
Yeah. This episode's going to have a lot of mood whiplash.
Oh yeah, definite mood whiplash. Well, why don't we start with the sombering news? Nintendo's former president, Hiroshi
Yamauchi.
Thank you, Lawrence. He had passed. When did he pass?
He passed
Today or last night?
I would say it was either today or last night.
I believe it was yesterday, yeah. Because I saw it posted the other day.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, I can't even begin. Thoughts and prayers with his family and friends. He was the president of Nintendo from 1949 until 2002. So he was the guy that...
He gave us all the good stuff.
Yeah, that's one way of looking at it.
Yeah, he
sort
pretty
of,
much...
you can sort of think of him as the father of the...
Console gaming.
Yeah, really.
Pretty much.
No, continue.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, the early Nintendo consoles were pretty much. I mean, okay, you did have competition, but they did set the way for what we've got today. So,
Right.
And that was all during his reign.
It seemed like everyone during the 90s, early 90s, late 80s, they were playing catch-up to Nintendo. I mean, yeah, you had Sega, yeah, you had the Master System, but they're all just trying to play catch-up to, okay, here's Nintendo, here's the standard. I don't think you get Sonic the quality that it is without Mario sort of pushing the envelope, as it were.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Competition always goes two ways. If you have one side trying to push one way, then you'll have the other end that's constantly keeping up with it and trying to push more, and then the quality just keeps going higher and higher and higher with each subsequent release. So, when it comes to that, you have him pushing Nintendo with Mario and Donkey Kong and The Legend of Zelda at the time, from the NES, and then the Super NES, and then I believe the last console launch he saw as the president of Nintendo was the Nintendo GameCube.
Right.
Right.
It would have been the GameCube, if I'm not mistaken. He oversaw the Nintendo 64, which really... You're still seeing the effects of Nintendo 64's effect on gamers today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Call of Duty is not as big as it is today without GoldenEye before it.
Yeah, easily. With it being probably one of the biggest and most successful... or actually, I think the first really successful console first-person shooters out there.
Yes.
With GoldenEye, and then Perfect Dark right afterwards.
Exactly. And what really drove GoldenEye's success really wasn't the single player, it was the couch. It was the couch play. It was the couch multiplayer. It was getting a bunch of friends, sitting down, and
splitting the screen into 4.
Yelling at your friend to stop watching your screen.
Yeah, exactly.
putting a proximity mine on the body armor. Hold on. Show of hands. Who was that guy? Who put the mines on the armor?
Me.
Okay, so I'm not alone here.
Yeah.
I put mines on the armor. I put mines on the assault rifles. Oh, man. I might have to fire up my N64 after this show.
But yeah, it's a shame such a great mind passed away from Japan, the former president of Nintendo. So we wish we wish at least his family well through this trying time. And I believe in Japanese, rest in peace is Gomei Fuku wo inorimasu. So
thank you for that. Sort of moving along, this is the mood whiplash we were talking about. That's why I wanted to get it out of the way first. Tokyo Game Show, a lot of news coming out of there. Specifically, I think a lot of the press blasts that we've been doing have been from Tokyo Game Show, correct?
Yeah, I did a massive blast this morning.
Yeah,
I saw that. Why don't we sort of recap that for a little bit?
What did I post? Well, I think because Sony actually did a presentation during last night, or what would have been yesterday for Japan, because I think they started early with the Sony conference, and some of the stuff come out from there. So that was stuff like the Tecmo Koei stuff, which I posted up earlier. I'm not sure if Namco Bandai had their bits out with Sony. I think that was kind of left until today, because they've put out some bits today. Square Enix put out some bits today.
Mm-hmm. Namco put out some. Namco put out, I believe, the Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. I think that's the Battle of Gods.
They put a new trailer for Deep Down out.
Yeah, that's Capcom.
Yes, that's Capcom. Namco Bandai, what do they do?
Tears of Zillia 2.
Oh yeah,
yes,
that's right.
and Symphonia, because that got given a European and American release period.
Right. Oh, here's the Dragon Ball Z game. Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z.
Battle of Z. But we already knew that was coming. So, but there's a new trailer that's from them.
Yeah, new trailer, and I think it's playable on the grounds of the Tokyo Game Show.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So Namco has that. Namco also has a few Gundam games, I believe, under their title, alongside Zillia 2.
But if you had a look at their their release, I think they had at least 5 or 6 Gundam games.
Yeah,
possibly more.
We have, of course, the new Dynasty Warriors Gundam, which hopefully gets a localized release. They had a few the Ace Combat equivalent of the Gundam series coming out as well.
Right.
I just remember reading the list of games and seeing that there was just so much Gundam there. But when it comes to Shin Gundam Musu, that it's kind of done differently in Europe to what it is in America and Japan, because Namco Bandai with the previous games haven't handled the publishing over here, whereas they have in America and they have in Japan. We have Tecmo Koei dealing with that over here.
Okay.
But whether or not that, if it gets localized, whether or not that's the case this time round, because we've got things like One Piece Pirate Warriors, which Namco Bandai have actually handled over this way, so it may just go into their hands again.
Okay, fair enough. Looking through this Dragon Ball Battle of Z, it looks like the sort of friendly cooperation between the Dragon Ball Z studios and Naruto studios is continuing, because some of the bonus content in Battle of Z is Naruto costumes for everybody. They're showing Goku with Sage Mode Naruto's outfit, or jacket at least.
Yeah, I think that's a bonus for first order copies or pre-order copies. If you pre-ordered Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z, you get an outfit of Goku wearing Sage Mode Naruto's attire. From the Fight with Pain.
Right.
As I saw that, I got a smile across my face when I saw that. Because I remember Naruto in Storm 3 having the Goku outfit with the power pole. Yep. And now all of a sudden I'm seeing Goku with the Sage Mode Naruto outfit from the Fight with Pain. So it's kind of cool to see that type of crossover, especially since one is so highly influenced by the other.
Right. You can almost see the sort of nod, the sort of, okay, yeah, you got the juice now, kid. So it was It was a nice little homage, as it were. One thing that kind of has my attention is the creator, or I shouldn't say the creator, the story creator, the story director for Vagrant Story is actually coming out with another strategy game, tactical RPG. It looks like Unsung Story. I started reading about that this morning as well, and I'm all right. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued because I love Vagrant Story. I love the first Final Fantasy Tactics, so I'm expecting good things. And he announced that at Tokyo Game Show. Mr. Yasumi Matsuno had explained that he's bringing Unsung Story. He says it's going to be based around 9 small countries, each fighting one another. And he's sort of taking inspiration from the Saxon Britons of the 5th and 8th centuries. So yeah, it looks interesting. It sounds interesting. As more of it comes out, I'll probably be geeking out over that as well. I don't know. I'm a sucker for a good tactical RPG. I am. I love Fire Emblem. I love Tactics Ogre, Vagrant Story, Final Fantasy Tactics. I'm a sucker for them.
Cool. This is the first I've heard the name. I haven't heard the main story director for Vagrant Story was attached to it.
Yes.
So that might sway me to look more into this game because I still have my original Vagrant Story disc.
So do I, sitting right next to me.
Nice. See, there you go. It's a sign. It's a sign.
Yeah.
I've had it next to me, tempted to pull it out again for a quick play on it, but I just haven't got around to it yet.
I still have it in my drawer with my PS1 titles. So it's
Nice.
just it's sitting there with the Final Fantasy series, just sitting there with it.
Nice. And then we also have, it looks like Soul Calibur is going the way of Tekken Revolution, if I'm reading this correctly.
Yeah, they got it again. A free-to-play title. Was it Soul Calibur Lost Swords?
Yes, Lost Swords.
Yes.
And I thought I spied the Buster Sword in the promo art. I don't know if I was tweaking or not. No, yeah, I'm looking at the promo right now. That is clearly the Buster Sword.
I believe Siegfried always had a sword that resembled the Buster Sword since his re-debut in Part 3.
With the 2 slots in the middle?
I could have sworn he may have.
Okay.
I might have to recheck, but I could have sworn there was a sword that resembled the Buster Sword, and he even had a sword that resembled...
Are they in images that I posted earlier?
Yes. I think.
Now, there's a sword that looks kind of similar, but it's not the Buster Sword.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a picture here in front of me, and yeah, the hilt kind of the actual body of the sword looks about right, but the hilt looks a little different than the Buster Sword. So,
all right. Well, there you go.
but it's similar enough. You at a glance, you could probably mistake it quite easy.
Yeah. One thing I must note about this Soul Calibur Lost Swords is that it is like Tekken Revolution in that it's free to play, but it is focused entirely on a single player experience.
Which is kind of odd.
Yeah.
Now, what do you mean when you say it's based entirely on a single player experience?
From everything I've been reading, there might not be any multiplayer component to this game. It's a free to play game, but it's a single player free to play game.
Do you know, I personally don't see in today's age, I don't see the appeal of that. Not with a fighting game.
That seems very peculiar. Why? You're essentially saying, here's this free game, it's entirely single player, so what's my motivation to... The way these games work is, you want more characters, so when you go online, you have more variety.
Yeah.
So I don't see the motivation. What's my motivation to get the other characters? If you give me my favorite character, Siegfried or Mitsurugi, off the bat, what's my motivation here? And
the thing is, I mean, since they brought in this, heavy online gaming aspect, you very rarely get as we were discussing with the GoldenEye thing, the couch gaming. You very rarely get that anymore. So, you're not going to be bringing around a load of friends to kind of play each other in a few matches or whatever. It may be done on the odd occasion. So the appeal to kind of play the game it's kind of knocked down by quite a few notches, really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It just seems weird. I mean, even the gameplay trailer when I saw it. It just reminded me of Soul Calibur 5 on a free-to-play scale, with the main difference being of the gameplay trailer I've seen is there's more customization, it looks like, since now weapons can be customized with different effects from the looks of it. And Sophicia is back.
Someone was I can't remember where I saw it. I'm sure someone was saying about the light effects on the weapons might have different characteristics, but
Yeah.
I'll have to try and search that out. But from what I recall reading was different colors of lighting actually have different effects or something.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Let me see something.
But
Okay.
again, that's no fun if you can't play it online.
Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. This is coming from eventhubs.com, reading their website. So credit goes to them for this.
All right.
I'm just going to read it directly. In character customization, you have many choices, such as giving your weapons elemental affinity, as well as meld weapons you aren't using down to instead serve as upgrades to the weapons you use. Namco Bandai were clear that this game will not be supporting any battles between players, and that the only way players interact with each other is by uploading your own fighter online and letting other players download your character as a support character, similar to how assists work in the Marvel vs. Capcom series.
Okay, so you're almost playing with a homemade
Ghosts.
AI ghost, yeah.
Yeah.
That, I don't know, that's not motivating me to play the game. I mean, maybe if I'm a hardcore Soul Calibur fan, but if I am, why not just give me a full-fledged Soul Calibur game, not this neutered Tekken Revolution model? Because what makes Tekken Revolution work is the versus play, is the fact that I can go online and play against somebody. I'm assuming Tekken Revolution has couch co-op. I really haven't touched it much since I first got it.
I can't remember, unfortunately. I can't remember if it has couch.
I haven't even bothered downloading Tekken Revolution. It doesn't really appeal to me.
Well, it was free, and it's Tekken. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
There's no harm in this.
Yeah. I downloaded it, I got 100% of the trophies, and then I really haven't played it and followed it since. I mean, I'm following the updates, but that's it.
I mean, I personally am not too into the... We discussed it kind of with the
Right.
with the MMO thing, but I mean, I'm not really into the free-to-play model so much. When it comes to small mobile and social games, then that's fine, because you just play them in little tidbits, but when it comes to something you want to, play a little, with a little bit more effort and whatever, just doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the ideas they had going with Tekken Revolution, and to be honest, the main thing that got me with Tekken Revolution is the lack of the bound system.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of liked that Tekken Revolution went back to the Tekken 5 and prior style of play, and I got into it off of that. But outside of that, the free-to-play system, I'm not too sure, how keen it is for me, so to speak, on something like Tekken Revolution.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more we talk about it, it's just, I'm scratching my head at this one. I don't know what Namco's thinking. It's one thing to have the free-to-play. The free-to-play isn't what gets me. It's free-to-play with no actual incentive. Because,
Yes.
I can upload my
Yeah.
AI to the cloud, but...
I guess this is kind of a thing which the Core Fighters thing with Dead or Alive does well. However, the problem with the Core Fighters is they released it at the same time as releasing the box product, which is a mistake on which is a big mistake on their part, because what they should have done was release the product and then maybe left it about a month or so, and then release the Core Fighters. At least they would have raked in the sales from the people that actually wanted to play the game, and then any stragglers would just jump into the free to play afterwards.
Right.
But if the free to play model's there to start with, then people are just not going to bother buying their box product, which it doesn't actually sell for that much, to be honest with you. I mean, I think I got it for about 20 quid, which buying maybe a couple of characters would have cost me that much. So
Yeah, I think the digital model for DOA 5 Ultimate goes into almost the $60 range.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Close to it.
it's silly. I mean, if you're just playing as one, if you're going for just one character,
Yeah,
stretching maybe two, um,
then
you can
fine.
maybe see the cost benefit of it. But if you may as well just buy the full game.
Yeah, because if you buy all the characters for the core fight from the core fighters, that's $34, and then you get
Yeah.
$34.99, and then you have to get the story mode.
Yeah.
And then already right there, that's $50 for a game that normally costs 40.
Yeah.
It's the intrinsic benefit starts getting weighed out when you consider, how much it costs to buy everything.
And I guess if you're going in slowly and you're slowly buying this content,
Yeah.
you'd probably hit that point where you're like, I can't justify buying the full game, so I may as well just continue to buy the little bits and
Right.
end up costing yourself the all the money.
Yeah. The free-to-play model has potential, but there are just a lot of holes that have yet to be worked out.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that much.
It definitely has potential, but shooting yourself in the foot this way to start,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it's still not out over here yet. I think we've now got a
Interesting.
date, which I can't. It's apparently got tweeted out earlier. I missed the announcement because I was helping someone with a bit of coding, so I didn't see the announcement. So I'm not sure what the date is.
The date for which?
The European release for Core Fighters, because we still haven't got it.
I was just about to pull up Lost Swords, not Core Fighters.
Yeah, Lost Swords doesn't have a date just yet.
No. Details are still quite thin on Lost Swords as well.
Right.
I'm actually, when it comes to Soul Calibur, I'm actually really looking forward to Soul Calibur 2 HD.
Really?
Yeah. But Soul Calibur 2 was probably my favourite, and maybe the last one I actually was enthusiastic about. And I used to play that game to death. So it'd be nice to, and I have picked it up recently and enjoyed it again, so I'm quite looking forward to maybe picking that one up when it's released eventually.
Yeah.
And that does have the online component too.
Yeah, for me, the last big Soul Calibur game that had me playing back and forth was Soul Calibur 3. But Soul Calibur 2 was also one of those games where I made a concerted effort to just 100% everything, get all the weapons, unlock every area, unlock every character, and then run my way through it.
There was just so much content in there as well, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, the Weapon Master mode was great. I still love the Edge Master mode from the original Soul Blade, but the Weapon Master mode was pretty well handled for what it was in Soul Calibur 2.
Yeah.
So, and then of course now for Soul Calibur 2 HD Online, 2 of the guest characters are in the same game now. So now instead of it just being Heihachi on one, Spawn on the other, and Link on a Nintendo console, now it's Heihachi and Spawn are both on Soul Calibur 2 HD Online together.
Yeah.
Nice.
And obviously no Link because of the Nintendo thing, so because that's obviously
Yeah.
a different license.
Yeah.
Yeah, much different license.
Yeah.
That one actually digs into console exclusivity license, whereas now Heihachi is no longer a Sony exclusive character, and I guess McFarlane was okay with extending the rights for Spawn for that.
Okay, here we go. I've got the date now. It's September 25th in Europe for
Nice.
Dead or Alive 5 Core Fighters.
Cool.
Which is the date that we get, I think, the PSN updates. So, I think that is right. 25th, Wednesday, yeah. Because we get our PSN updates on a Wednesday.
Oh,
So, yeah, so next PSN update should be there.
Right. Okay.
Que suerte for you guys. The other thing, it interested me. I'm still on the fence about it. Sony showed off the PlayStation app, which is essentially just this sort of social app for your phone. You can see what all your friends are doing on PSN.
Mhm.
And on the one hand, I'm like, oh, cool, they found a way to link all that, put it on the cloud, and give you that information. And on the other hand, I'm like, but why?
Well,
It sounds quite similar to. I mean, I haven't seen that trailer, but it sounds quite similar to the smart glass thing with Microsoft.
Yeah,
Yeah, a little bit.
it is.
A little bit.
It is. I saw the Sony keynote speech the other night, so I saw as they unveiled it. I honestly didn't think it was such a bad, like as you said, it was just why. I looked at it and I just saw it as their next step in trying to connect everything together.
Mhm.
Like PS4 is them trying to connect, you and your friends better. Now there's the share button for screenshots and for you to live stream on your friends list. One thing they also announced was the ability to register with your real name. So if someone, knows you have an account but they don't know your account name, they can search your real name and then they can add you. They added.
That's gonna be troublesome.
They said it's optional. You don't have to do it.
Okay.
So it's an option. And because of that, I just viewed it as this being their next step to try to connect. You could say make the PlayStation 4 experience more personal.
Right.
I mean, I don't exactly see the use for it myself, but I also see where other people would look and go, yeah, I'm just gonna log onto the PlayStation app on my phone and see what's up. I can see it's
Fair
used.
enough. You want to see, hey, who's on Payday right now? Oh, okay, I may as well hop on the PSN.
Right, like if you're not at your console, you can just look at your phone and go, oh, my buddy's playing, let's say for example current gen. Oh, my buddy's playing, Mass Effect 3 in the multiplayer. I might hop on in a little bit and join them. That type of thing.
Okay.
I think that it does run quite nice. Although the same thing I can do on the Smart Glass app, I never use it.
Really?
So yeah. I mean, I can do that kind of thing on the Smart Glass app. I mean, I'll launch it now and I'll see what friends are doing, and
Right, and it's
sign in.
the smart glass.
Oh crap! Okay, I won't be doing that because I've got to change all my details, I believe.
Oh, well, there you go. You
Right,
thought you were gonna do it.
Last week, I went to log into my Xbox Live account, and they've changed the security, and it told me I couldn't access my account until I had gone through all this process of doing stuff between my console and my PC, and it took the best part of 45 minutes to set up this damn security thing, and I couldn't work out what the hell was going on.
Well, that's
It was the most complex thing I've ever seen to try and get me to link up. And then when I've gone to check my emails later, it had changed all my passwords and settings, so I couldn't access my emails. So it was just frustrating. Absolutely frustrating. But I think they've upped the security in that respect, but at the same time they've just caused me a lot of hassle. I was ready to give up. The thing was frustrating me that much.
Right.
We understand security is, important, but your security should not impede the user from basic functionality.
No.
I don't know, that's just me, pet peeve as a developer. Yes, security matters. If your system is so secure that it impedes users from basic functionality, you might want to rethink how you're implementing your security. So
Pretty
that's
much.
just me. Trying to see what else really came out of TGS that really caught our attention.
I got two bits of news from the TGS.
All right.
Both of them are in fact Sony related. The first one is the PlayStation Vita TV. The PS Vita TV was shown at the Tokyo Game Show. Sony had announced the PS Vita TV last week during their special conference in Japan, but the PS Vita TV was actually shown in full at the Tokyo Game Show, showing its functionality, how it works, and stuff like that. And what it's basically allowing is for anyone to take their PlayStation Vita, PSP, or even PS1 classics that they had downloaded and stream them from their PlayStation 4 or through their Vita and their PlayStation 4 to the Vita TV and be able to play on your Vita TV through the memory stick if you have it saved on your Vita memory stick. You can put it in the Vita TV and it will play those games on your TV. And the Vita TV basically runs like a fully functional PlayStation Vita on your television set. And they even showed it on the screen where it was basically the same interface as the Vita, but just on a big screen. and it's basically going to allow you to play majority of the Vita's library on your television. I think the only exceptions are the games that had touchscreen or heavy touchscreen functionality. Those won't be obviously workable on your television.
Right.
But the majority of the Vita titles and even the PSP and the PS1 classic titles that you have on your memory stick will be playable on the big screen. Granted, PS1 classics, you already have them on PS3, PS4, but they just added that in as part of the data reading. I believe it's launching in Japan for $99. So, or the equivalent of $99 US.
Yeah.
They have no plans to release it yet in other regions, but the keyword is yet. So,
I don't know if you guys follow Mike Bithell, who created Thomas Was Alone. Him and what's his face? Is Yoshi from Sony.
oh, Shuhei Yoshida?
Shu, yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, he they're like a couple, they are, when they're bantering together, and Mike was hinting that he wanted the PS TV over here, and it was kind of hinted, yeah, it will be sometime, so, but obviously we'll have to wait and find out. But hopefully we get it, hopefully we do get it during the course of next year.
I would hope
Right.
so.
'Cause it looks a nifty bit of kit, and it's not that big either.
No, it really looks kind of, but actually looks kind of compact for what it's
Yeah.
going to be doing. And
Well,
along
it's
with that,
it's kind of about the size of like maybe like the Elgato. It's kind of like that.
yeah, it's just
in
about,
terms of size, yeah.
just about in size. And because you saw it on stage, it was like not even half the size of the PS4 in height.
Mhm.
So,
Oh, and talking Elgato, did you see the news today about the fact that there was the speculation that you won't be able to use game capture devices on
Right.
PS4? Well, that's now been lifted, and they've actually removed the protocol so you can stream. You can stream and record from the HDMI. So what you can't do on the PS3 right now, because you've got to use the other connectors, you can
Right.
now on the PS4 you can actually record and capture from the HDMI.
nice.
So hopefully, because the three of us have now got them, hopefully those will be useful if we adopt the next gen to continue to use those devices with the next gen console.
Right.
I'm just gonna say it right here, right now. My brother pre-ordered a PS4 as part of his birthday present,
Mhm.
using the money he got from his birthday to pre-order the PS4. So, because we pre-ordered it so soon after E3, we will be getting it probably, if Amazon holds up, on launch day.
Cool.
Must be nice. I
So-
want to be like you when I grow up. So I got the PS4 on launch.
Well, not all of us can be 21 going on 22.
Like I said, I want to be you when I grow up. So.
But yeah, that was actually my brother's pre-order. So
Okay.
yeah, we will be getting that. Probably post pictures up and stuff like that when it comes out. So
Just to rub it all in and everything, yeah.
Just be like, look, you know what you should do? You should just take a picture of the box, just like you in a bathtub with the box, and just be like, this is my PS4. Yeah.
that
Don't you
is
wish you had one?
that is vaguely creepy, but
You
Or
put
just
an
a
idea in
picture
his
of you
head.
at dinner, you're eating dinner, like, here's my PS4, eating dinner with me.
It's just part of the family.
There you go.
it's just part of the family now.
Right.
I'm so
I
proud
have
of it.
now got my smart glass app to work as I remembered my security thing. And yeah, I can check all my friends' statuses and everyone's playing Grand Theft Auto.
Of course they are. Of course they are. I gotta say,
One person here is playing Saints Row.
you know what? I have to say, all the talk I did about not getting it, GTA Online actually made me
I
want
saw
to get
you
it.
cave. I saw you cave in.
Oh yeah, I caved. I said I was gonna cave because I want GTA Online, and I figure if I'm gonna get that, I may as well at least scout the city so I know where stuff is. And this is probably the best put together Grand Theft Auto in terms of just how the mechanics are.
Cool.
They smoothed out aiming. They smoothed out aiming and combat from 4, so you actually have an incentive to aim. Because I remember in 4, aiming was kind of like, okay, I can shoot in this general direction, but I still can't hit anything. What's the point?
Yeah.
They smoothed that out a lot. They brought back the stats from San Andreas. So as you progress through the game, your 3 characters have different stats. They have stamina, driving, stealth, weapons, etc.
I did see people posting about those details and stuff, and what they're actually training themselves to be doing. So
Yeah, you actually can build up their different stats doing different things. Like I believe golf builds up strength. Like if you play golf, tennis builds up a little bit of speed, and I think also
it
strength.
just doesn't sound right, does it? Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, let's play tennis.
No, okay.
It makes sense.
That's probably one of the more gratifying things about this Grand Theft Auto. The fact that for the first time in Grand Theft Auto history, they just open the entire map for you from the beginning. Nothing is off limits. Location-wise, you can go anywhere on the map. And as you progress the story, the different locales on the map open up. Like, you can't buy clothes until maybe an hour into the game. But the minute you start the game, you have access to the entire map. You have access to a good chunk of the hobbies. And you have access to at least 2 garages.
Cool.
So, it's nice. It's... The story so far, I'm kind of meh on the story. I'm more interested in the characters themselves than the story surrounding them.
I'm getting that impression from a lot of people.
Because the story just seems sort of, it's like, okay, here's the story, and it's lampshaded within the game how sort of cliche the Grand Theft Auto stories are. Because like early on in one of the first missions you do, your partner on that mission is like, yo, I feel bad for the current guy you're working for. And it's actually a legitimate job. Like, you're just going to pick up a car. He's like, yeah, I feel bad for that guy. He's like, what do you mean you feel bad for him? And he's like, isn't that how this works? We do a couple jobs for this guy. He trusts us. He makes us do some big thing. He doesn't trust us. We kill him. We get money. Isn't that how this works? So it's... They lampshade it, and then they sort of like dive into it. And the characters themselves, it seems like, I think we talked about this a little bit either last show or the show before, they sort of represent the 3 phases of a Grand Theft Auto protagonist. Like, you have Franklin, who's sort of this wide-eyed idealist who he sees the world legitimately as a place where if I work hard enough, I can do better for myself. You have Michael, who essentially beat Grand Theft Auto. He's living the life. He's got the mansion. He's got the hot wife. He's got the bratty kids. And he's got therapy. That's what being the game got him. And then you have Trevor. Oh, Trevor. The psychopath Trevor, who, as a person, he is a disgusting individual, but I can see a lot of people flocking to him because he's so balls to the wall, over the top. It's like...
You know what? Ever since seeing the first trailers... first character trailers, I've thought when I get around to playing the game, Trevor will be the character I will love the most.
See, that's the thing. You'll probably enjoy it because
I love being an arsehole.
The players want to just cause mayhem. That's what Trevor's there for. Trevor's there to kill people, burn shit, and fuck school. That's Trevor's mantra. That's just what he does.
Justin, just letting you know, our PG rating just got thrown out the window.
Oh, for this episode, yeah. We're talking about Grand Theft Auto. You can't have a PG rating talking about Grand Theft Auto. Or I can... No, you know what I'll do? I'll bleep it out. I will bleep it out.
Oh, boy.
But yeah, no, it's... Trevor sort of represents sort of everything the player wants to do and everything your parents and Fox News is afraid of when Grand Theft Auto comes out. Like, you look at Trevor, that's what Fox News sees when Grand Theft Auto comes out. Oh, look, it's a guy smoking meth and killing hookers and taking their lunch money. but that's not all there is to the game. Just choosing the focus. Okay, whatever, sure. Yes, this character is that. Have
But-
fun.
But with a lot, with a lot of them, it's always been the outside activities that have been the things that have really drawn people in. The more mundane things, the things that you could do in real life. Like you can go to a golf course, you can go and play golf, but yeah, you just want to go to a golf course and play golf in the game.
Yes, you can. There's a fully functional stock market economy in Grand Theft Auto. And it's probably one of the more gratifying and rewarding things in the game. Just sitting at your computer making online trades.
So there we go.
I think that is the easiest way to get money in the game. Trading. Like buy stocks, buy low, sell high, blah-de blah de blah. So I would say the other new mechanic, I think they do this every iteration. They introduce a new mechanic on how to evade the police. This one, you literally have to evade the police. Like, you'll get your standard warning level, and then after you get out of their line of sight, you have to stay out of their line of sight for, I think, a minute or so.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool, that whole little stealth aspect, but if you're in a hurry, that gets really old really fast. I mean, you always have your standard, get a new car, or spray paint my car, okay, I'm good. But if you can't leave your car for whatever reason, be prepared for a lot of waiting and dodging. So, I don't know, like I said, I'm enjoying it so far. I really can't wait for the online portion to come out and just sort of mess around with that. I'm already foreseeing, if it sold this many copies, I can only imagine when Grand Theft Auto Online comes out, those servers are going to crash day one.
They reckon it's going to push into, I don't know, what was it, $1 billion or something.
It's disgusting.
And the game cost I think it was an equivalent of about £1 billion. I think they said the game costs 270 million to make or whatever.
Yeah,
which
it costs about 250 million.
Yeah.
So and I mean, being British and all, it's really cool that it's a British developed game, and we're getting some recognition from it.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact that our British media seem to take all the negative stuff before they jump in with the good, with the good stuff about the fact that it is actually pumping money into our economy and all that.
Yeah, forget the fact that $1 billion has been circulated back into a struggling economy. No. We're going to focus on the fact that you might be able to go into a strip club and you might be able to hit a bouncer.
I mean, I think on retail value they've nearly broke even already. So, and it actually hit the biggest, broke the records for the biggest selling game in the UK on day one.
Yes.
Which was previously held by Call of Duty Black Ops 1.
Yep.
If I'm not
It
mistaken,
did that in America too.
Yeah, they broke that in America as well. They're making a disgusting amount of money right now.
Yeah, like in America, it was the comparison that was made was Black Ops 1 made 800 million in 5 days. Yeah. GTA 5 did that in a single day. By comparison to Call of Duty Black Ops 1. So right now, GTA 5 is breaking all sorts of records for top selling and quickest selling game.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Just a disgusting display of wealth.
But it's really cool to show that a game that's not an annual release can pull in so much.
Yes.
I get so tired of annual releases with some core franchises.
Yeah.
It's nice to see something a little bit more refreshing. Just jumping after so many years of since the previous iteration.
Right.
And with a bit of luck, that money that comes in, they plow that straight back into making a Red Dead Redemption 2.
We can only hope.
As Red Dead Redemption was one of my favorite. Is probably one of my favorite Rockstar games at the moment. So. Or even Bully 2, that would be cool.
Bully was actually better than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
So.
I have 2 quick things I want to bring up for Sony's end from
Yes.
TGS. Bringing this all back to TGS. Real quick, Sony is bringing PS3 titles to the cloud for the PS4 in 2014.
Nice.
They will be using the Gaikai Cloud Gaming service to launch a library of PS3 titles to the PS4 through the cloud streaming service, and you'll be able to play them on the PS4 as well as the Vita and using the Vita TV, enabling you to play them either on the go on the Vita or through the Vita TV through that cloud, or play them directly on the PS4 using the Gaikai cloud streaming service. And that will be available in 2014 for the US. And to go along with that, Sony also revealed some details about the PS3 to PS4 digital upgrade program, where there are multiple, as we know, cross-generation titles like Call of Duty Ghosts, Battlefield 4, Watch Dogs, AC4, and all along that list. And from what they're doing is they're giving 2 options. They will give you either one, if you buy a disc version of a PS3 title, you will be granted a code that can be redeemed on the PSN for the PS4 digital download. But the only catch is once you redeem the digital download of the PS4 version, you will need the original PS3 Blu-ray disc to activate it on the PS4. The second thing they've done is if you buy it from the PlayStation Store as the PS3 version, then the next-gen version on the PS4 will be priced at $10. All codes and downloads must be redeemed by January 31st for Assassin's Creed 4 and Watch Dogs, Battlefield 4 by March 28th, and March 31st for Call of Duty Ghosts. So those are 2 ways that Sony's making sure to kind of keep the current generation gamer moving into the future by discounting cross-gen titles and by the Gaikai Cloud service.
And there's for people like myself who are playing Final Fantasy 14, A Realm Reborn, there is the free upgrade for the PS4. However, if you take in the free upgrade, you cannot play the PS3 version.
Ah, okay. That is smart, because I was wondering how they were going to stop possible abuse of that system.
Yeah, you would have to be using the well, actually no. Once you've installed it, you install it into your PS3. You install it into your PS3 and you use the client to log in. I guess that client will then move over to your PS4, and trying to reload the client onto your PS3 won't work. You've then got all your client details are then attached to a PS4 account as opposed to a PS3 account.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. That prevents people from double dipping.
Very nice.
Yeah. So if you're gonna upgrade, if that's what you want to do, then just know that you can't go backwards.
Fair enough.
Cool. Let's see. So, yeah, that seems to be most of the Sony stuff from Tokyo Game Show. I think we'd be remiss not to mention the Tecmo Koei announcements from the TGS.
Yeah.
So what have we got?
Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Legends on the PlayStation 4 looks absolutely phenomenal.
Yes.
It
Yes,
doesn't
it
look
does.
like a straight port. It looks like they actually went through and redid the models to make use of the PS4.
Yeah. I mean, the PS4 gameplay looks like the cutscenes on the PS3. And by the cutscenes, I mean the CGI pre-rendered ones.
Now, when because Extreme Legends is released in Japan, which I'm sure Michelle's probably going to pick it up in November, I believe.
Yeah. Already pre-ordered.
I want to be like you guys, but I try to, every time Michelle says she pre-ordered something or she's getting something, I try to retweet it on the main gamers feed because she's like the queen of that. Just, you know what?
Yes.
Basara 4 is coming out. You probably have Basara 4 on pre-order, don't you?
I'm trying to pre-order it right now, but Amazon's being kind of stupid. It's like it's not holding.
I have to say, Extreme Legends 8 looks amazing. Basara 4 looks amazing as well. And
Yes.
I kind of like how both of these games exist in a way that they're not competing with each other. They both are what they are, and they exist in that lane. And I don't know, that's refreshing. It's not, they're not trying to compete with each other. They're just saying, hey, look, Basara is really over the top. It's really Devil May Cry style. It is what it is. It's essentially an anime. You're playing an anime. Dynasty Warriors plays it more as, you can mow down 1,000, but there's some level of realism. There's some level of fantasy. But
I was going to say, it takes it to a slightly more realistic level.
Yeah, I like to equate Dynasty Warriors with Sengoku Basara, or Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors to Sengoku Basara, in the sense of Dynasty Warriors, Samurai Warriors are more medieval fantasy style. Mm-hmm. Like the stylized characters, these legends behind them, but it's more grounded. Whereas Sengoku Basara is the full Japanese influenced anime style, go all out with superpowers type of thing. That's the way I equate them.
The best way to define Sengoku Basara as a game, watch the first episode of season 1, where Yukimura just breaks down the gate. He says, I'm son of the Yukimura, the spirit of conquest, and then just mows down everyone in the castle in anime fashion. That's the game.
Yeah, and then suddenly Nobunaga.
Yes, suddenly Nobunaga. Although it looks like for Basara 4, they're going to focus more on Toyotomi.
It looks like a little bit of everything.
It could just be the direction of the trailers that have been released so far.
Yeah, because Nobunaga's been confirmed.
I've already posted a picture of him.
I think we do have that up on Facebook. Nobunaga's been confirmed. But we also have another Toyotomi general, the one responsible. What is it? The one responsible for going after Shingen?
I believe so. Unfortunately, it's been a while since I've focused on that branch of Japanese history. Most of my Japanese history front is around the Oda era and maybe a little bit post-Oda. But I'm not sure. Michelle, you...
Just went completely quiet there.
Okay, yeah.
Everyone went quiet right after we started talking about the new characters.
It just, I think their spirit just kind of took out our sound.
Yeah, the last thing I heard was us trying to figure out the new Toyotomi general, and then I had passed it to Michelle, and then the sound dropped. So, I guess we pick up from there?
Yes, let's.
You're still recording, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, apologize to everyone that was technical difficulties. We got kind of Skype didn't want to hear us anymore.
Skype of our banter.
Yeah. So back on topic, the new Toyotomi general that was added. Michelle, you have any insight on that?
I'm just having a look because there's quite a few sort of Toyotomi affiliates revealed. Because I think it was just a couple of days ago, Ieyasu and Tadakatsu were announced as sort of returning. And let's see, because I'm pretty sure there was someone announced alongside Yukimura, possibly.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know the new characters' names, but I recognize Mitsuhide, I recognize Mitsunari, I recognize Masamune, Kojiro, Nobunaga, Yukimura, Sasuke, Shingen, and Hideyoshi.
Yeah.
I recognize the returning roster. I unfortunately do not know the names of the new characters. Like, I see them once, but their names haven't stuck to me.
I guess that's going to be our research project for the next one.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate because I wish I had their names, listed. But I recognize. I know one of them is. I think the one with the two swords.
Yes.
I want to say is Sakon Shima.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
That is
okay.
Mr. Sakon Shima. And what was it? He was announced alongside. Oh, the name is escaping me. The general in the green armor.
Was it Katsui Shibata? I think
that would be. That it would be.
Yeah, yeah, I think, yeah.
Now it's all coming back.
Yeah, some of it's getting there. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, it actually looks like they're trying to do the more start from what is the beginning of Basra, tell the full story, because they've essentially told the end. That was Basra 3, right? We sort of get how everything sort of ends. And now they're saying, okay, let's tell the whole story, include everything, include why Mitsunari hates Ieyasu from the beginning. Let's include the history of why you actually get to play the battle where Mitsunari slaughters all of Masamune's forces and beats the ever-loving bejesus out of Masamune.
Okay.
Well, it's also sort of more of a like an alternate universe sort of thing as well.
Yeah, because some of these guys are crossing along their own timeline, so to speak. Like Nobunaga, if we're going by that, Nobunaga already looks, full demon. Nobunaga is from Part 3. Yeah, this was supposed to be Sengoku. You could say Rebirth was the tagline they gave to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're going along that route while having Mitsunari and Hideyoshi together in the same time frame, while also including these newcomers, and Mitsuhide is Mitsuhide, not Tenkai.
For now, like I said, we when the game comes out, we'll probably get more details, but yeah, I have to say, in Utage, Mitsuhide's storyline, while he is a complete monster in 3, seeing how he just degenerates to that state he's in is sad. Like
Yeah.
you actually see his mental state break after each mission you do, to the point where he's talking to what he believes is the spirit of Nobunaga next to him. Like he breaks, and when he breaks, it's sad.
See, I was already depressed from Oichi's storyline in Sengoku Basara 3, so that's
Yeah, but that's got nothing on Hide's story in Utage though.
Oh no.
That was that was just, yeah. There's no sort of words for the sort of rage-inducing sadness.
I have to say, I think the single most rage-inducing moment in any Basara game, I think it's Basara 3, when you're doing the quote-unquote true path, when you get Demon Nobunaga, and right after you think you've pacified whatever is in Oichi, she's normal for all of like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Then, slight spoiler alert, Tenkai comes up and just guts her. And it's like, thank you! I was just like, I will kill him.
Yeah, I know. The true path for Sengoku Basara 3 is just sad to see from all 3 of their perspectives: Tenkai, Oichi, and Nobunaga.
Basara 3 is just darker in general. Like, if you've been with Basara from 1 and 2, you're used to sort of the lighthearted take on it. 3, it gets downright the Dark Knight dark. Like, you have Masamune in a depressive state for the first half of his story, just full on, I have to get revenge mode. You have Yukimura, a shell of himself, looking for what his purpose in life is because he devoted his entire life to a single person and that person is dead. You have Keiji Maeda lying to himself for the better part of his story about how he's just looking for something, but he doesn't know what that thing is, so he just laughs it off and plays the fool and the clown and the, oh hey, you're a hot girl, I'm just gonna follow you around. It gets dark, man.
Yeah, I get you. But well, Basara 4 is coming with a roster of about 40 characters in 2014, so this will be pretty interesting to see where they go with this one. And this might be a minor note, but considering that Sengoku Basara 4 is just a completely current gen title as opposed to 3 Heroes, which was a PS3 port, a Wii port onto the PS3, this could benefit more from it being wholly developed on current gen technology. In terms of what they can do with this one, so to speak.
Yeah, because I think it's only a PS3 release.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I don't even think it's getting a Wii U released.
No. Nope. But yeah.
It's actually going to be the first in the series to get a DLC, I think.
Oh wow.
Because
Oh.
I don't know if they're going to release any more, but the pre-order bonus is Masamune's outfit from the HD collection mini video thing.
I haven't seen that one, so. But at least do something with it.
Yeah, but because if they're doing that, then they're likely to be putting other DLC in. But I think a lot of Japanese companies and developers have become a lot more comfortable with doing DLC, and it's becoming a very popular thing with the Japanese games.
Yeah, and Capcom themselves have stated that they're focusing more on a DLC / digital. I don't think they said future per se, but they're going to put more of a focus on that front. So.
Okay, hold on. Michelle just posted. Oh, okay.
That is a nice outfit.
Nice.
That is actually a pretty good outfit. I like it.
Of course, they have "Let's Party" as the tagline.
Yeah.
But yo, speaking of Capcom,
I don't want to get into this.
But we have to. We have to.
Man.
Beginning of
Right.
Yeah, it would have been the beginning of this month. The creator of Mega Man put up a Kickstarter for.
Oh, okay. This part.
Yes,
yeah.
this part.
This we can talk about.
He likes this part.
I like this part.
Well, this part sort of plays into the other part. He put up his Kickstarter for Mighty Number 9, which is essentially the spiritual successor to Mega Man, made by the team that gave us Mega Man. And what was it? In a day, they had raised almost $1 million. They've almost hit every stretch goal they've set so far. I think. Let me bring it up now. But last night.
Well, it's coming. It's coming to consoles now.
They
Yes,
hit the console
coming to
stretch goal.
consoles. Yes,
Yeah.
the console stretch goal. They, I believe, hit their first. They hit their initial goal in 2 days.
Yes.
And they've reached the stretch goals of 2 more stages, a Mac version, a new game plus and turbo mode, making of documentary, a boss rush mode, and now we have the PS3 360 Wii U versions, which was the last stretch goal that they hit at $2.2 million with about 12 days to go.
Yeah.
So they've now hit that, and now what's left is a challenge mode, an extra boss, an extra stage, and then beck and call co-op.
Right.
Challenge mode is what they're also shooting for.
And like with some of these Kickstarters, they actually throw some of these bits in there anyway. But obviously the money would help towards making, improving or making those things actually happen.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, they just hit console versions. The next stretch goal is challenge mode, then extra in stage and boss. Right after that, beck and call, and then there's two more mystery stretch goals if they can raise 2,900,000, and if they somehow raise 3,300,000, we'll get next gen versions of Mighty Number 9.
Yep. And right now they have all these different awards, or not awards, but perks for donating to the Kickstarter, like different beta access codes, polls for the backers, or as they like to term them, the Beckers.
Yes.
For them, different polls to be able to choose the design of the new character Call. So yes, folks, it's Beck and Call.
Or think of it this way: roll call, from roll to call.
From roll call, or you can go by the Japanese way they did it. It was rock and roll, Rockman and roll.
See,
this is Beck and Call.
It fits.
Yep. So we have that digital reward sets for forum access, your own mighty number on the forums, your name in the credits, the ability to participate in the backer events like different polls, community votes, and stuff like that. And depending on how much you give, they'll be able to send you a box. Not an actual box with the game in it, but a box with a code for the digital version of the game. But it was going to be a box designed in the style of the old Famicom or the old NES titles. To go along with that, different posters for the bosses. Let's see. If you donate a certain amount, you'll be able to have your voice in the ending theme, or your face in the game itself, and even you can help design an enemy character for the game. So they have a lot of different perks and different stretch goals here that are making this a very fun Kickstarter to follow. Not to mention, obviously, the genre itself. You know, a 2D shooter, side scroller in the style of Mega Man,
Yes.
which we need more of these days.
It's kind of a dying breed, but people want it.
Yes.
And we just keep getting churned the same things, just with a different skin all the time from a lot of modern games.
Yeah, pretty much. And now this is going back to the roots of gaming, and it's looking like a very nice, colorful, style of game. One of the things that I said we were lacking in, I think, a previous episode of the podcast, a colorful, style of game, everything trying to be hyper-realistic. We're getting that type of game with Mighty Number 9.
Right.
It's a colorful 2D side-scroller that's going back to the roots of gaming. And I am looking forward to seeing where this goes. I'm very much looking forward to seeing where all this goes by the end of it.
The main takeaway from this is, well, there's two takeaways from this. The first one is, obviously this is what the people want. Over 40,000 backers, over 2,300,000 raised. There's a want for this style of game. And the fact that this had to be done on Kickstarter and not by Capcom themselves is kind of the reason why Capcom's in the mess they're in right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
in part.
Yeah, I would kind of say that, yeah.
So, on the one hand, I think when Aaron was on the show, we talked about it. Kickstarter and crowdsourcing has really changed how games get made. People can now make the games they want to make instead of having to make these formulaic titles.
Yeah. It's kind of it's a mix. There are a lot of kind of dodgy or risky Kickstarter projects about, but I guess if they're done by people that you can pretty much trust, people that have done it in the past, or they've got together old teams and things and are likely to deliver what you've paid for, what you've contributed into, then they're a really good tool to kind of get some of these things out, which the big publishers don't want to put any money towards anymore.
Right.
And also, go ahead.
For a lot of these big publishers, the cost of making that game, while it's a successful Kickstarter, is quite minimal compared to what they're paying for some of the big titles that they're putting out now, and I'm sure they'd receive near equal revenues for sales and stuff, or maybe a little less, depending on how much they retail the games for. But I'm sure they'll actually profit on these smaller titles than what they do on their big titles, where they've got to spend so much on the extra marketing and stuff as well.
Right.
The great thing about the crowdsourcing, your marketing, your backers are your market, right? Or your backers are your advertisers, right? So
pretty much,
for every person that donates, they're going to tell somebody, and they're going to tell somebody, and then if it gets big enough, the blogs pick it up. If the blogs pick it up, eventually, the major magazines pick it up. The major websites, your Kotakus will pick it up. Your joysticks will pick it up. So this thing really just grew and snowballed over the course of a week. So
yeah, very much. Because now all of a sudden we're staring at a game with 2.3 million right in the till.
And there's still 12 days left. Like it's amazing that they were able to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then that also brings us to the part you didn't want to talk about, Capcom's current financial situation.
To me, Capcom's current financial situation is weird in that I can't help but look at it and go, you kind of had this coming, but at the same time, it's depressing.
Yeah.
It's both to me. It's, you look at them and go, you had this coming for what's been going on with the company lately. And then you also look at the other side and go, that doesn't make it good. To see them in the financial shape that they're in, that all of a sudden, Now apparently they're worried about the next gen because of this.
Right.
And now because of the financial situation, they have to focus on making more DLC and, supporting games like that. And it's just kind of, like I said, I'm on two sides of it. You had it coming, but it's also not a good thing that this is what it came down to. I mean, I hope it serves as a wake-up call, but I don't know.
Well, again, there's two lessons you can take away from this, right? We didn't do enough of what got us into this mess, or what we were doing in the past got us into this mess.
Yeah. I mean, granted, you could say DMC was successful for what it did. It was critically successful, but it was the least selling game of the franchise. The new DMC, the 2013 one. Right. It sold the least of the franchise, and Capcom had to keep lowering sales expectations just to say, hey, it met our expectations. No, it didn't. Your original sales expectations were 2 million. You expected it to be on par with DMC 4. It did not come close to DMC 4. It sold the least out of the whole franchise, and it sold less than DMC 3, which was the least selling of the series by that point. So I can't view DMC as a success for what it was, because they had to keep lowering the sales expectations.
Why do you think that is? Why was a game so critically acclaimed not able to do the numbers that it was initially expected to do?
Oh, easily a fan alienation. Easily. With how they were marketing the new DMC, saying that, granted, this is Ninja Theory's fault as well, but for them to market their new Dante the way they did, and to try to say, this is how Dante is supposed to be. He was not this, this superhero. He's not Batman and Robin. He's supposed to be this kid from Chronicle that they had the nerve to put as their conference at one point from Ninja Theory.
Wait.
They tried to...
The Andrew from Chronicle? They actually compared Dante to Andrew from Chronicle?
Yes. They did a comparison where they were trying to say that Dante is supposed to be... He's supposed to be not this, but this, that type of comparison. And the pictures they showed was, he's not supposed to be Batman and Robin from the Joel Schumacher movies. They showed a picture of Batman and Robin from those movies, and then they showed a picture of...
Wasn't that it during GDC Japan? Or...
Yes. It was during GDC.
Someone leaked some of the screens, didn't they?
Yes. They took pictures of it and posted them on the net, where they were saying that Dante's not supposed to be Batman and Robin from the Joel Schumacher movies. He's supposed to be Andrew from Chronicle. And they did this whole they tried to tell people that Dante is supposed to be this, and you're going to like what we did with him, and you're going to appreciate it after you've played it. And no one bought it. None of the old DMC fans bought what they were trying to do with this new Dante. And people can argue that, oh, you're just complaining because it's the hair color. And any DMC fan will say, no, it's not just because of the hair color. They don't like this new Dante. Now, from what I played of the demo, I haven't played the full game, so I can't say from that. But from what I played of the demo, really, Dante's personality didn't seem that different. It's just the story choices, which I have seen the story, and I've seen a Let's Play of the DMC 2013 version. The story choices and the moral changes that Dante goes through don't fit the old Dante. This Dante is more, you could say, more of a downer than, let's say, DMC 3, DMC 4 Dante. So you have the crowd alienation for what they did with Dante, and then you have what they did with Virgil as a character, and then you have what they did with Mundus as a character, and then you have the gameplay changes that made this DMC easier to combinate off of than DMC 3, DMC 4, where the combos were much more difficult and, you can say, more stylish looking. Then you have the 30 frames a second debate that people got into with this DMC compared to DMC 3, DMC 4. Then you had all these different things that they changed, and eventually people were turned off by it, especially since they were shoving it down, everyone saying, you're supposed to like this, you're going to like this. And the critics loved it. But the DMC fan base looked and said, this is not what we wanted. We wanted a DMC 5 or a DMC prequel. I mean, I've seen forums say outright they either wanted a Nero game to explain his backstory, or they wanted a Sparta prequel for DMC. And when they saw that's not what they were getting, it immediately turned people off.
Right.
So it's just a pileup of different things that people didn't want. You changed Dante, you changed Virgil, you changed Mundus. The story wasn't well written. They didn't like the new female character. I've seen some people just didn't really like her as a character. They didn't like all these different things. The game runs at 30 frames a second. The game is easier than DMC3 and DMC4 to pull off these fancy combos. All these different things to the DMC fans just made them completely shut off that game from their minds. And I think that's why it didn't sell as well as Capcom maybe expected or they wanted it to sell.
Okay.
Too much change and not enough trying to keep it, in the same universe.
But
I mean,
isn't that what they wanted though? They wanted to tell their own story. Maybe, well, hindsight 2020, but maybe if they had marketed it as, yo, this is our take on the Devil May Cry story, we know it's not what you're used to. It's not the old goodness, but we think we have a valid story to tell. We think we have a valid spin on it. Maybe not saying this is what it's supposed to be, but this is how we see it.
I think if they had spun it that way, and maybe if Ninja Theory had... I will still forever rag on this. If Ninja Theory and Capcom had better PR during the time, then maybe it would have done better. But unfortunately, you still have the contingent that looked at it and went, we didn't want this. We wanted a DMC5. Because now, with DMC4, there's a giant mess of a plot that is left unexplained. How does Nero have his Devilbringer arm? What's his relation to the Sparta bloodline? All these different things. Why did Dante so willingly let him hold the Yamato at the end of the game? And let him keep it? There are just a lot of different plot lines that DMC4 left unsaid, that for them to reboot the series, or make this like a reboot/prequel type of deal, it left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths, because there's still the story elements that DMC4 left open. That's how I think that people look at it. Even if they did market it better, you still have quite a few people who wanted a DMC5, not a new rebooted DMC.
That's fair enough. So I guess it comes down to the balance of telling the story you want to tell versus giving the fans what they want and maybe or not deserve for supporting you all this time.
Basically, I think the fans more or less felt shafted by the reboot of DMC. Okay. And I think once you turn them off from what you were trying to do, then you have to really work hard to get them back. And Capcom's PR at the time was abysmal, between the Ace Attorney not being localized at the time. I think Ace Attorney 5 it was. The Street Fighter Cross Tekken DLC situation. The way they were marketing the new DMC with Ninja Theory, and Tamim being the way he was over the new DMC. Saying that, what was cool back then is not cool now, and all you had is DMC fans look at him and go, I'm sorry, what? Dante is still considered a cool character. Yeah, he was a little obnoxious in DMC3, but he's still a badass character. And trying to push his notion of what's cool on people. And it's just a mix that really piled on and on and on. And then, like I said, you turn off the fans at first. You have to work to get them back. And Capcom's PR really did a number on them.
Right. At
that time. It was just a bad time for Capcom in general. And I personally don't think they've recovered from that entirely just yet.
I think it was worse for you. It was worse for you guys in the US than it was for us over here, because we were quite accepting in general.
Yeah. It was far worse.
In Europe, we were a lot more accepting of the decisions and the game and everything else. So there's it's quite a split reaction, because I believe over here it did reasonably well. But it took a big hit in America.
I honestly, I don't want to say this as if it's like me taking a dig at you in Europe and the UK, but I think what helped is that Ninja Theory is a UK based company.
It does help. It does help in some ways. But I guess there are very different attitudes between the US fans and the European fans with the reactions to things in the gaming industry.
Yes.
There is a lot similar, but there is a lot different as well. And I think the American markets are and fans are usually quite expressive on what they think, as opposed to we're a little bit more reserved in Europe.
Right, and I think even Japan looked at the new DMC like, what on earth are you giving us? As a result of it. And just overall, like you said, it was just a mix of different reactions.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Europe, it was mostly, we're okay with this. But in America and Japan, it was the reaction of, what are you doing? And from there, it just went downhill. And I'll be the first to admit, some of the reaction to the DMC reboot was an overreaction. I'll admit that from that standpoint. But it's also the cost of you turn them away and then they just leave.
Yeah, I mean, you see it all the time with all games. There is always a core group of people who will overreact at any given situation that they can. So
yeah,
but it's always the ones that do like to react that tend to become quite vocal, whereas the ones that are accepting don't. So you don't tend to hear much of the good side of things. You always hear the negative.
Valid. Very valid.
Especially in the social media age we're in now.
Yes, I see that a lot on pages that I moderate. So.
Right. But I don't know. I mean, with DMC again is hailed as a success because it sold 1.1 million. But when you consider Capcom's original sales goal was 2 million, I personally don't know how one can call that a success.
I think it, when you I guess put in other factors with regards to current markets and people's buying habits in general, and the fact that there is a change and shift in the way that people buy games and things, and the fact that you've now got between Devil May Cry 4 and Devil May Cry DMC, there are different avenues for people to be buying games. People are now going through things like Steam and stuff, and they're buying cheaper games as opposed to always buying the expensive products all the time. And because there's a lot more avenues for people to buying products, and people are usually now going for the cheaper options. And obviously that's taken a massive hit on the general sales of boxed product games.
Right.
So markets and consumer habits are all to contribute, as well as obviously fan reactions to changes that have been made.
I get you. Yeah.
I mean, a lot has changed since since DMC4 was released.
Yeah. Economy, fan base, might be moving away from it.
Well, and I think even things like PS Plus, I think that's probably taken a hit on people buying boxed games. They're probably, even though the games have been out for a while, they're just picking up the stuff that they're getting on PS Plus as opposed to going out and buying anything anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, I've not bought as much as I used to buy, and I've downloaded pretty much everything that's on the PS Plus, although I haven't got around to playing much of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say, PlayStation Plus, that instant game collection is nice, especially the timing of it, giving you Saints Row 3 right before Saints Row 4 comes out. That was a nice touch.
Yep.
So, but I think we're gonna have to wrap it up on that one. As always, we thank you guys for hanging out with us. We thank you guys for listening to the show, for watching the YouTube channel, and checking out the site, checking out our Facebook. We appreciate it. We hope to be able to bring you guys more content. We hope to be able to bring you guys more stuff, more official reviews. I'm delaying my Wolf Children review. I know I said right after Otakon I was going to do a review on Wolf Children. I'm delaying that until the DVD comes out, or maybe a week before the DVD comes out, because there's some stuff I wanted to iron out with it and make it not so rushed. So I'm going to take my time with that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and appreciate it. And yeah, when Wolf Children comes out, definitely check it out. easily one of the most beautiful movies I've seen this year.
Cool.
Nice. I wanna give a real quick quote of the day here because I almost cracked up laughing on the podcast when I read this on Twitter. This is a quick Naruto related tweet from Viz Media, their official Twitter channel, their Twitter page, and the quote is: "Does anyone else think the Infinite Tsukuyomi is like Internet Explorer? It takes forever to load and probably won't even work at all." Quote directly from Viz Media. Thank you for the quote of the day.
I love you, Viz. Oh, I love Viz Media so much right now.
They posted it directly, and I retweeted that, and the response someone else gave, and his competition is a Firefox.
I'm done. I'm done. Good night, everybody. I'm done.
So on that note, the discussion myself, Michelle, and Justin had over Twitter will have to wait probably for the next podcast, because that needs to happen on this show.
Yes, it does. And next time we can probably actually talk about the Infinite Tsukuyomi. God. I don't know if I said it on this show or if I just said it with a bunch of my friends, but Kishimoto is the new George Lucas. He cannot be trusted with his own content anymore. He cannot be trusted with his own content. When the Ultimate Ninja Storm games do a better job at telling your story than the source material, it might be time to hang it up. It might be time. And he's even admitted that CyberConnect does a better job at telling the story than he does. So.
Yeah. All right. So, I just wanted to give you guys that quote of the day, because I read it while we were recording and I almost burst out laughing in the middle of this this podcast.
That is priceless. But yeah, as always, I did all the thank yous. We'll be back again, not next week, the week after. And,
right.
Which is after Eurogamer, which I can then give you all the Eurogamer news.
Exactly. See, there you go. That's how we do things. But yeah, take care, everyone.
See ya.
See ya.
Night, everybody.